I
you so
know.
much for doing this with me today, Reagan. I'm
Of course.
excited
Thanks
about
for
the
having
book.
me. Oh, thank
I
you. Me
know that you act, you sing, and now you can finally add author to your resume, which is super
too.
cool. What originally inspired you to write?
Oh my gosh. I mean, even right now, it's hard for me to say author because
Yeah.
that just doesn't even feel like it's in my wheelhouse. But I think I'm an author of this book because of my love for animals and the grief that I had from losing this sweet little soulmate animal that I had, and just needing an outlet to figure it out. What did it mean to grieve an animal? What did it mean? To get over it, if there's such a thing as getting over grief.
Right.
So yeah, so I just started researching and trying to figure out what I wanted this book to be, which is not just a book. It's a workbook. It's a journal. It's a keepsake, and yeah. So I mean, yeah, it does feel great to say author, but at the same time, I feel like it's just for this book. I believe in it so
Sure.
hard. So yeah.
For sure. And as you mentioned, I got one right here, first of all, because we're
Oh,
going to give some of these babies away.
I
You
know.
mentioned it's also an interactive guide, which I think is super cool. What kind of journey can a reader expect to go on when they have this?
Well, I would say that it's going to take it, every chapter, every part has been meticulously planned so that inch by inch, you basically get through the book and find a lighter part of grief and find meaning in your grief. And through healing exercises and breathing exercises and places for photos, you kind of untangle the sad part of grief. And hopefully they finish it and feel like they've honored their pet. And
For
that's
sure.
really what I wanted.
I love that
Yeah.
you did it that way. What kind of made you decide to do it that way?
Well, when I was going through that grief of my animal, I kept looking for resources. I'm like, somebody has to help me. I'm feeling so in pain, and I felt so embarrassed to really talk about it because I thought, oh, it's going to be compared to human grief, and so I kept it in, and I just couldn't find anything. And the couple books that I did find were so dense, and they felt so academic that I wanted something so relatable, and I wanted a reader to feel like I'm sitting with them, going, "Hey, this is how I felt. How do you feel about this? What was it like?" And taking them through memories, taking them through what was the first time you ever saw your animal's little face. What did that feel like? And so you can remember the good and change it from just the sadder parts. So I just kept evolving. I look at the books now, sometimes I'm like, where did this come from? How did I come up with? I don't even know where it came from. It just evolved into this thing that I so really believe in, and I believe that it helps, and I keep hearing from readers how much it helps them. And also the other part was that I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted it to be something that they could hold on to and put beside maybe their animals' ashes or photos of their animals, so that they had this documentation that they did it. They mourned their animal. They got through it, and celebrated that life instead of just shoved it away and moved on with life. So, yeah, there was a bunch of things that just kept coming to me and coming to me over the years, and yeah, and so that here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And I love that you did it that way because this really is such a relatable topic. So many people go through grief of pets. And in my personal position, Reagan, I have a pet who I love dearly. She is super old, I will
Oh,
say. So I gotta
yeah.
ask you, what kind of advice would you give someone like me to mentally prepare for that day that I am dreading so much?
Oh my gosh, I completely get it. I'm almost actually, we just lost one of our dogs on Monday. Ugh. And it's
No.
just as and I wrote the book on grief, and
Right.
I'm struggling. So there's very little you can say really
Mhm.
except to go, you're gonna feel how you're gonna feel, and you
Mhm.
have to honor it. You just have to honor it. And I I I I would just say you love that baby as
Mm,
hard as you can right now, and do everything that you can, like there, so you don't have regrets. I mean, I'm right now going like, did I take him on enough of, because he couldn't walk for
mhm.
for years before he died. And my last dog that just passed, and I'm like, oh, did I take him for enough, in the stroller enough? And I'm I'm going
Mhm.
over all those things. You just
Right.
you can't prepare, except that I will say, this book that I wrote, I'm going through right now. I have
Mhm.
to redo it and re-go through all these exercises that I'm telling other people to. I'm like, you got to walk the walk if you're going to talk the talk. And I do believe, like, you celebrate. And I just said to my husband, I was like, that dog that we just lost, I there should be a marching band down the street for that dog. He was the best thing
Yes.
ever, and
Mhm.
I want to get a big blown up photo of him and
Yes.
write something at the bottom for our wall. I believe in stepping into the sad part that
Mhm.
we're inclined to run away from, but I
Right.
believe you step into it and you get through it, and you will get through it. And you also reach out to
Oh,
me anytime
Reagan.
if you have to cross that path. So I'm here for you, because I get it. I really do.
Thank you so much, Reagan. I've never cried during an interview, but today that might change. I'm
Uh,
so sorry to hear about the pup that you lost on Monday. Oh
I'm
my
saying it
God.
out loud, and I just said to my husband, I'm like, how am I going to get through this interview? I'm supposed to
Yes.
be the
Oh,
person who tells you how to grieve an animal, and
right.
there's no answer. All you can do is lean into it and surround yourself with great people who understand,
Absolutely.
and feel it.
For
That's
sure.
all I can. That's all I can say for myself. So
Oh, well, I'm so honored and impressed that you were still able to talk with me today. That makes this even a little extra more special.
thank
I
you.
know a lot of people, when they lose a pet, they fear maybe getting another animal because they don't want it to seem like they're replacing that animal. What advice would you give to somebody who maybe thinks that way? How do you feel about that?
Oh, well, I do take you through that in the last section of the book. I,
Mhm.
I do talk about that. It is so individual. I
Mhm.
can't tell somebody get another animal or don't get another animal. That's going to be a choice you make. I hope that there are so many animals who need homes. So
Mhm.
I hope that by the end of sorting through the grief, hopefully through Griffin's Heart,
Mhm.
but I hope that once you get through that, you realize that no animals are alike. No love is alike. You're never going to replace anybody. It's going to be a whole new adventure. You don't have to ever feel bad about that if you do decide to do that. And it's a personal choice, and there is no right or wrong. And just don't feel bad for a second if you decide to make that decision.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that. That's good advice. You're
yeah.
right. These journeys are so very personal, and everyone is going through a different type of thing, which is why I love that you also have this online memorial on Instagram that you created. Can you tell me the handle for that, and what was the goal in creating that?
Well, so we just kind of started, and we're collecting stories, and that's going to take a little bit of time because they're starting to pour in, but
Sure.
we're trying to sort through that just so that there's like a little cyber memorial to honor. And some people have written poems, some people have just written something and sent me photos of their animals,
Mhm.
and it's just a place where there's like-minded people who know that and how incredible our animals are, and we can honor them together, and that makes me feel so happy just to share, because I believe community, I believe
Mhm.
communication is everything when you're
Yes.
feeling sad, and it's a place to honor. It's a place to honor. So that's at Griffin's Heart Book, on Instagram. I'm also on Instagram at Reagan Pasternak, and I am so open to hearing everybody's stories, and I'm loving that part. I never realized how
Mhm.
fulfilling and connected I would feel to people on this level. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Oh, I think that is so great because a lot of the sadness that can come from losing a pet includes loneliness. And to be able to just connect with someone who understands how you're feeling, I think that can make a world of difference. So
It
that's
made a
really
difference for
amazing.
me. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Really
That's
did.
amazing. Oh,
Mhm.
Reagan, I'm so excited about the book. As I mentioned, we're going to do a giveaway. So some lucky listeners will win one of these. But
Awesome.
I know you do so many things in your life. You also act and sing. Are there any other projects that you're currently working on that you're excited about?
I just wrapped a really fun reoccurring on a new show that's going to be on BET. Actually, it's
Oh,
called
amazing.
Miss Pat. Yeah, it's called Miss Pat, and it's so funny. It's
Yes.
just so funny. I think it comes out in the summer. I actually don't know the date yet, but that'll be out really soon. I just finished that, and now I'm really kind of trying to focus on promoting the book because I am
Yes.
so busy and I'm a mommy and I have a bunch
Oh,
of animals in my house and
yes.
fostering and doing all these other things.
Oh
So
my gosh.
so we'll see what happens next. But right now I'm so committed to Griffin's Heart. And so that's the target right now.
That's where we're at. That's awesome. Tell me
Yeah.
about your pets.
So I have Stella, who is a 130-pound Great Pyrenees, giant, beautiful, white, majestic dog that I found in a rescue when I was visiting Canada in the summer 2 years ago. And I
Amazing.
fell in love with her and brought her back to
Oh,
LA with me, which was not an easy feat, but we did
yeah.
it. And we have Luna, who's an incredible little mutt who's just a therapy dog to everybody she meets and anybody who needs it. We call her Nurse Luna. She's incredible. And
No.
yeah, we have a cat named Dr. Purper, which I love. The vet has to say, Dr. Purper is ready for his appointment. And
I love
it just
that.
cracks me up every time. Yeah, and then we're fostering a mommy cat with her 4 baby kittens that are so precious, and I am so grateful because we just lost Jed, my beautiful, amazing dog. We've been able to I've been distracted by these beautiful cats that are just so lovely and sweet, and it's so good for me to have that distraction so I don't just crumble from the loss. Yeah.
For sure. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. We're not deserving of animals. They're so amazing.
I
I
am
love
with
them
you,
more than
girl. I feel
yeah.
you. And I love that you just said that. I say
Yeah,
that all the time too. They're
for
just
sure.
angels. They're so innocent and
Mhm.
and true. They're so real.
Agreed. 100% Reagan. Well, last but certainly not least, I got to ask you
Yes.
here in our state of Maine, our state motto is the way life should be. So I want to know, according to you, what is the way life should be?
According to me, I would say compassion is everything. And when in doubt, compassion. When in doubt, when I'm feeling annoyed with somebody, compassion. When you feel, lost, compassion for yourself. I think that's the best.
Yep.
It's the best answer. I really do.
Yes.
It works for me.
I couldn't agree more. And you show that 100% with this book because this is a work of compassion for sure. So thank you for writing this and creating this. I know it's helping a lot of people and it's going to help a couple of our listeners because we're going to give some
I
away.
hope so.
In the meantime, Reagan, thank you so much. It was so great getting to know you and I hope we stay in touch.
So do I. I really do. And thank you so much for being a wonderful animal owner too.
Oh, thank you for doing the same, Reagan. It was great to meet you and
Great to meet you
can't wait
too.
to see what you do next.
Thank you.
Take care, Reagan.
Bye.